Okay, whenever you're ready.
Hi, this is me, Detox, and you're watching Jalar84's YouTube channel.
What's going on YouTube?
Jamar,
What's going on YouTube?
Washington.
This is what Jamar here once again.
What's going on YouTube? This is your boy Jamar here once again, and we are here to recap and review this latest episode of Rupaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 2, Episode 2, entitled The Snatch Game. Okay, so this is a great show. This is an awesome show. However, at the very beginning of it, as we both, as we all saw, Adore decided to leave the show. Now, let's talk about this really quickly, because this was rumored, and they made it seem like Adore stormed off the show, like something upset her and it made her angry and she left. But now that I'm seeing how it played out in real life, I am disappointed. I really am, because I was looking forward to, the things that Adore would bring this time around after she had, left Drag Race and had come back. I was really looking forward to see what it was she was going to do. And her reasoning for leaving didn't seem like it would be enough for a person to leave. Because a lot of people have gotten, really harsh negative criticisms on the main stage before. And Adore just always kind of came off to me as somebody who, was able to take those things in stride and just kind of still do her own thing. That's what I kind of got. And then when she allowed, what Michelle said to get to her so bad, I was kind of taken aback, because Michelle, you guys worked well together, so you know that she loves you. You know that, she only wants the best for you. But he says that the whole dynamic changed, when she has to be judged by her, and it's a whole different feel, which is true, but it still just seems like it wouldn't be enough to toss this opportunity to be an all-star out completely, at least this early in the game. Really at all, but more so this early in the game. I just, and he went outside, him and Michelle had their little talk, and he had a talk with RuPaul, and RuPaul tried to convince him, is there anything that I can say that it would, for you to stay? We all want you to stay. You're an all-star. People love you. He met with Michelle. She apologized. She wanted to make sure that nothing that I said was personal. It wasn't a personal attack on you or, anything. I love you. People were giving her all this affirmation, so I'm thinking, okay, just maybe after this, she'll decide to stick it out. Because I'm thinking, like, if it were me, even if I, got a really harsh critique that I took personally for whatever reason, because of this twist and how this show is being, restructured to where the girls are eliminating each other, it makes the judging that I get from the judges, not really matter as much, because they're not the ones making the decisions. Michelle, if I was Adore, Michelle Visage could say whatever she wants to about my dress. And that's another thing that somebody had to point out to me when I started watching like the recaps of last week. I was confused as to why Michelle was so nitpicky about Adore's outfit, but didn't mention a single word about her actual talent, which was the whole point of the showcase. She was so focused on what Adore was wearing that she paid no attention and gave no props to the actual talent itself, which was strange to me. But if I were Adore and I was, like I said, in this competition, I wouldn't even hold too much weight to the judges, especially Michelle in this particular case, because they don't make any decisions necessarily here. They may choose who's at the bottom and who's the top, but other than that, whoever chooses to be eliminated is, my friends. Well, I don't know how well you can have friends in this competition, but you know what I mean. And it was just disheartening for Adore to leave, but we couldn't even see her Snatch Game. So, and then there's only 10 contestants, and one got eliminated last week. You just walked off, so now we're left with 8 queens before the end of episode 2. But then they got this whole revenge thing. We don't know how that's going to be played, so that's still to be determined. But so Adore leaves competition. We're all really sad, and we're just gonna have to move on. So that this week is Snatch Game, and everybody is picking their various characters. Now we know in particular that Detox, Fifi, and Alyssa Edwards have work to do, because if y'all remember their season Snatch Game, it was bad. Fifi did Lady Gaga. It was atrocious. Alyssa Edwards and her Katy Perry, I'm still so mad at her because Rupaul fetched her the perfect line to where it was so simple. They just fed it to her and she could have took it. She's like, have you ever kissed a girl? She was like, Ru, never. We're like, that's literally the first single of that's her debut song was I Kissed the Girl and I Liked It. So he gave you that punchline and you just missed it, girl. But it's okay. And Detox did Kesha, and Kesha was a difficult choice as it was. And then that whole public urination thing, that was strange. So yeah, even though Detox did bomb, she was kind of the more tolerable, I guess, of the 3 who needed to redeem themselves. So with that, we was all looking at them with a close eye. Now, Detox actually decided to do Nancy Grace. Now, here's a fun fact that I discovered the past couple of days, is that All Stars 2 started filming like literally 48 hours after they wrapped up and sent everybody home for the filming of season 8. They wasted no time. They had maybe a 2-day break and they was right on to All Stars. So that's why, nobody in season 8 would be eligible, because there was no winner at the time. And they had just wrapped. Like, there was no way I'm going to fill a whole season of Drag Race and then turn around and compete in a whole different competition. No way. So, and also, Detox did Nancy Grace, and Acid Betty tried to do Nancy Grace in the same Snatch Game of season 8. So I'm thinking this is bad luck. This is bad juju. And I'm hoping that Detox will do a greater job than Acid Betty did, because if y'all remember Acid Betty and her tomfoolery. But anyway, so, and then we get Roxy Andrew is pacing. I can't talk today. Sylvia, I can't pronounce her name, but Vergala. I can't pronounce her name. Somebody put like the enunciation in the comments below for me. So she was being, this Latina. And, RuPaul was into the whole idea. He was feeling it. And Fifi is going around, saying, oh, I don't think your accent is thick enough. You may have to do this. And she went on to Alyssa and she said, I think your Joan Crawford is too close to you. It's not really much of a character. I'm like, and Tatiana peeped this. She was like, she's playing strategy, because she's just trying to plant bugs in little people's ear, trying to sabotage and make people second guess themselves. That's making them lose their confidence. Fifi, I see what you're doing, baby. Okay, I see what you're doing. You're playing the game, but I see what you're doing, So we get to the actual Snatch Game, right? And luckily enough, we get Raven and Jujubee as the celebrity guests. So I'm like, at first I'm thinking, oh, well, this is interesting. We've always wanted, past Drag Race girls to kind of come on and be judges. And then I realized, wait, Ru did this on purpose, because these are the same girls from season 2 that Tatiana was with. So that was interesting, okay? Even though they didn't really show any kind of, not necessarily animosity, but necessarily any interaction between the girls. At least nothing that I can see. Maybe it happened so fast that I missed it. But if we go down the lines of who was who, I can't remember what the name of Ginger's character was. But somebody was trying to tell. There was a lot of people who I wasn't really too familiar with. I want to say her name was Tammy Faye. That's who Ginger was. The first wife of a preacher. Alaska was Mae West, who I believe is the character that Betty Boop, the cartoon, was modeled off of or had to do with. If I'm not mistaken, somebody let me know in the comments. Who was sitting next to her? Was Detox sitting? No, Detox was at the bottom. Who was sitting next to Alaska? Oh, Katya was Bjork. Now I never knew what Bjork looked like. I've always heard her, and I've heard of her music, but I never knew what she looked like in the face. So this was a brand new representation for me. Excuse me. Oh, sorry about that. Who was next to Katya? I can't remember who was next to whom, but I know that Alyssa Edwards was Joan Crawford. Now, Alyssa did such a great job. So much more entertaining and so much, just all around better characterization with her Joan Crawford than her Katy Perry. Because it seemed like she actually did some research this time to make sure she was doing it right. And then Detox Nancy Grace, it wasn't bad, but it didn't really stand out either. If that makes any sense. I felt like she was better than Acid Betty, that's for sure. But in comparison to everybody else, she just kind of got lost. And then we have Tatiana doing Ariana Grande, and I was like, okay. Now, Tatiana won the first ever Snatch Game, and, she kind of knows how to give that bimbo-ish pop star thing. So I was interested to see where she was going to go with it. And it seemed like RuPaul was feeding her lines, but she didn't quite catch them. Or if she caught them, she didn't have a prepared enough a response. And that's why she kind of got a lot of, empty moments and stuff. So, I think like her overall characterization was good. Like the look was good. She even brought like a donut for the whole donut licking thing. So, it was there, but I just felt like there was so much more that could have been, And we had Roxy Andrews. Now, Roxy decided at the last minute to switch her character. Excuse me. She decided at the last minute to switch her character to Alaska Thunderfuck. And I'm just like, I'm still not the biggest fan of queens playing other queens just because there's so many people and celebrities that you can impersonate as opposed to impersonating another queen from Drag Race. I never was big a fan of that. And Max put the nails in the coffin with that when he tried to play Sharon Needles. We won't even dawn back on that. As much as I love Max, no. As much as I love him. Roxy tried. Roxy tried very hard. And I always felt like I could do Alaska. I can give you the hi. My name's Alaska. What's yours? I can give you more of the Alaska-isms than Roxy was. RuPaul gave him the perfect setup, and he asked her, like, is that a wig that you're wearing? Now, anybody who's familiar with Alaska and her work and her album and whatnot, and have gone to see her any of her shows, they know one of her favorite songs is called This Is My Hair. I Don't Wear Wigs. Okay? And that was the joke that RuPaul was trying to drag out of Roxy, but and then she said, she tried to piggy off of Nails, the song Nails, and said, if you're not wearing nails, you're not doing drag. And I guess she got the songs mixed up. And she said, if you're not wearing a wig, then you're not doing drag. And it was just, it was bad. It was really bad. But you know what? It's hard. I guess she felt comfortable with it because Alaska is her friend, and I feel like she probably knows her enough to know like her isms and, to make fun of her, which makes sense, but only if you can really pull it off. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times these people have to stop letting other people tell them what they should and shouldn't do, because I think you should kind of go with your initial instinct, because people, especially your competition, is going to tell you to probably do something to throw you off the game because it makes it easier for them. I don't know why Roxy listened to Fifi's just so easily and just didn't even give her, it's like she just trusted her wholeheartedly right off the bat and just didn't give any consideration to what she wanted to do. It just seems so odd to me. Roxy never came off as that type of person. But I guess she's trying to be more, show more camaraderie, but at the expense of you being in the bottom. All right. But, so they go through the Snatch Game, and Raven and Jujubee are the guests. And so at the end of the Snatch Game, why did they edit it and then it made it seem like Juju put her head down and it woke up and it was Shangela? I was like, are you serious? Really? How many times is Shangela gonna pop up in all these seasons? She was originally in season 2, popped up for season 3, popped up in season 4 as a joke, and here she comes popping up on All Stars 2. I mean, it was a funny little, it was a funny little comedic moment for the show, but I was really surprised. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. So, let's get to the runways now. RuPaul probably this is the first time I think RuPaul has walked down that runway and wasn't in a blonde wig. Unless somebody I can't remember any episode of RuPaul's Drag Race where he didn't walk down there with the blonde wig. He had a pink wig. And is it me? I think it's me. I wanted to like the hair, but something about it looked like it was tilting or off to one side and not like necessarily in a stylish way, but almost like my wig is slightly crooked and I couldn't adjust it before they turned the camera on type of crooked, It just looked not the kind of asymmetrical that you would want, basically. But, I mean, she switched it up, that's for sure. So, other than the slight degrees of crookedness over her wig, I think she looked great. And if I had to pick my favorite outfits on the runway, it would definitely be Alyssa. I liked her little kissy lips with the big, yellow hair, and that matched with the little yellow cap. I thought that was really, really nice. And, of course, the big yellow boots, the knee-high boots, which are like a staple in anybody's drag arsenal. Then we have, who else did I put down? Katya. Katya came out looking like so she came out there looking like the Little Mermaid. And she had like this whole Aquarian little look to it. She even had like the little nose plug, and she had all these little latex and little frills and stuff. It was really, really nice. I like the little, what color is that? That's magenta? I don't know. But it's like that greenish blue. That's the best way I could describe it. I think it was really, really nice. Especially for Katya. Katya never pulled nothing like that out on season 7. And my last one, of course, was Detox. I don't know why I feel like something about that look. I feel like I've seen somebody do that. What queen did something similar to that? I felt like they had like a red. It's on the tip of my tongue. Somebody I remember walking down the runway with something similar to what Detox had. I'm not going to remember it now, but I'll probably remember it later. And if y'all know who I'm talking about, leave it down below, because it's going to drive me crazy if I can't figure it out. But nonetheless, Detox looked great. Her outfit was good. Her tuck, she took that thing in, baby. So, those are definitely my favorite looks. And so, it turns out that Alaska and Katya are the top 2. Now, this is the second time where, well, actually, now as I was about to say it, I think I take it back. I was going to say I was thinking that Alyssa Edward was going to win just based off her Snatch Game. But because last year when she did a variety last week when she did the variety show, I thought she was one of my personal favorites. I thought she was, she went for the win, but she's safe. which is fine. And so Alaska and Katya do the lip sync. Now, we never really got to see, Alaska lip sync until, the final, 4 of season 5 when they all had to lip sync. And that's never really a good representation because you only get like 25% of the stage. There's 3 other people up there lip syncing with you. So, it's kind of hard to really get like a good idea of what a person can do, in that instance. So it was interesting to see them lip sync. Now, this was probably, like I said, one of the most bizarre lip syncs ever. Just because they're both comedy queens, so they both are putting the comedic flares into the lip sync. And Alaska's up here thrusting with these kitten heels on, and Katya is just over there being Katya. I don't even know what other way to explain it. But it was really, really funny. But I could tell that Alaska was going to win. I could tell that she was given a little bit more than Katya was. And so they're going on this deliberation, and they both decide to meet with the queens. And I'm like, okay, I think every episode has to be an hour and a half just to kind of fill this part in for the deliberation part, which I have no problem with because that means 30 more minutes of Drag Race that I wouldn't normally get. And so Alaska's calling them over, and what was interesting was the one that she had with Tatiana. Now, Tatiana, she was crying and saying how she felt stupid for messing up, this, that, and the fourth. And Alaska tried to comfort her and saying, well, there's this whole Alaska Tox complex, and I don't want you to feel like there's any favoritism, and this, that, and the fourth. I would have been thinking the same thing that Tatiana was thinking. Like, I swear, this whole competition, since she walked through the door, me and Tatiana have been like this, okay? She has been saying my thoughts. She also picked Coco to go home. She was thinking, look, at some point, if I have to eliminate somebody, I'm going to eliminate somebody now before they have a chance to eliminate me later. It's not necessarily based off of the challenge. It's just my own opinion. That's how I would be playing the game. At least I wouldn't say that out loud. I would play it that way in my head, until it came down to it. I would pretend, but then if the time comes, I'm getting rid of my biggest competitor. But she knew that she was in the bottom 3 with 2/3 of Alaska Tox, and if Alaska won, she was going to be sent home. She knew. And even Katya even met with, the other girls as well. And it was interesting because she was like, you know what? A part of me likes this power that I'm given. It's like I have the power to eliminate somebody. It's not really fun to see your friends go, but she says, I'm not even going to lie. It's kind of nice to, feel like you're in control, because she said she was so used to being, on the edge all the time and self-conscious about what she was doing, that to be able to be on this side of the spectrum is kind of like, oh, I like this. And then when she talked to Tatiana, she was like, so tell me why you should be America's Next Top Model. And Tatiana wasn't ready. She was like, wait, what? That's why I love Katya. Even in serious moments, she manages to, make things light and allow people to, laugh a little bit. So that's what I always liked about her. So the lip sync goes, and Alaska is the winner, and Tatiana is eliminated. Now, somebody on Twitter said something that I was thinking to myself, she said that if Alaska won, if I was Tatiana and I'm watching the lip sync, and as soon as RuPaul said that Alaska, you're a winner, if I was Tatiana, excuse me, if I was Tatiana, I would have just left the stage. I just would be like, you know what? It's been real, y'all. Bye-bye. Because I'm not going to sit there, walk up there to the stage, and I already know that this man has alleged allegiance with Roxy Andrews and Detox. So I know I'm the only person that they're going to send home. They don't really know me like that. So they don't really have any alliance to keep me here. So it was sad, but it is what it is. So now we're down to 7 thanks to Adore. But yeah, this is an awesome episode, and of course I was waiting to see, like, is Tatiana gonna get the same video message that Coco did? And lo and behold, she did. So I'm really curious as to how this whole they get to come back thing is gonna work itself out. So, But anyways, I'm still loving and enjoying the show. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, let me know what you thought about the episode, who you're rooting for, and all things of that nature. Let's have a discussion down in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Like, share, subscribe.
Washington, Washington, Washington.